It sounds like you and Homer got in a lot of fights. Was there any particular reason why you got in fights?
Yeah, because I didn't like living in barns and chicken houses, and I had 4 beautiful little girls that deserved a home. And like Bertha, my best friend, had a real cute, just a nice little house. But Homer said, no, he can't live in town. He's not living in town. And her house payments were only $50. And I just wanted a house so bad. And he would not ever give in to it. So I said, well, I'm leaving, and I left. And went and rented that house up on 64th. And, but when I rented it, I didn't realize that, I mean, it had some land, which I wanted to be able to have some animals. I didn't realize that the water situation was no good. I had to haul water for every drop of water we used with 4 kids. And you guys never liked to take a bath until we moved there. Honest to God, you wanted to just take a bath constantly. But what we had was called a cistern, a buried block thing in the ground. And I spent 3 days a week hauling water for the whole house. Homer didn't come with us at first. And then I give in, let him move back in, which I should never have done. But we've been to Cortez and before that, though, come to think of it. Excuse me. But anyhow, I borrowed a truck or a tank from the city, and I had a big old truck. It was a 49 Dodge truck. And I built stock racks on it. I did that by myself. I can't believe I did. But I would, every 3 days a week, I would go rent this truck or the tank from the city down, and it was down in Arvada, and haul water for the house. And I'd do that sometimes at night. And it was next door to the Smile Inn where I had to pick up the water. And Dorothy and Eddie said, oh, that'd be fun. Let's go with Joanne on the water run. And so I'd meet them, or they'd meet me at the Smile Inn, and we'd have a beer or two. Then go haul the water out. Always drinking. One night we got over there with the load of water, and I guess we'd been at the Smile Inn too long. There was no water left. The tank leaked. Yeah, that was kind of embarrassing. But that's when I decided, I gotta give this up. I can't keep doing this. Then I had cows, and I had pigs. I had 3 little pigs that followed me wherever I was out in the yard. If I went in the house, the little pigs would lay on the little porch. It was cute. It was adorable. That was the house that had the stage in it. Do you guys remember that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, from that house, go
ahead.
From that house, you moved where?
My mom died while I lived there. Well, no, she died before I lived there. That's where it was.
Yeah.
That's why I decided I could leave Homer, then I could do anything. I wouldn't have done it if she hadn't have died, probably. Because I didn't want to hurt her.
Right.
Yeah. But when my mom died and they settled her money, big money, there was, let's see, Jim and I each got $2,000, and Larry got $3, and we couldn't divide whatever the amount was. So we give $1,000 more to Larry. And we figured he needed a person. We'd already screwed up our life so bad, maybe he can do better. But anyhow, it was enough. I had a down payment for a house.
How long did our family live in Cortez, Colorado?
I think it was about 2 years. It seemed like lived there over 2 years, except one. But when we moved, we moved out of the shack by the tracks to get there. And Laverne came to help. Oh,
And
God.
who is Laverne?
My mother-in-law. Oh, she ragged on me all the way she rode with me in the front of that truck. Oh, and I had listened to her all the way there. I thought, this is not probably going to work real good, but I'll give it a try. She was such a bossy creature. And I don't know if she liked you kids or not, but she could get really mean with you guys. But anyhow, we found a place there we rented from the Hyde Marshes. But I'd go out and pick apples. Well, Homer was supposed to be a plumber, but she kept forgetting to go to work sometime. But we'd pick her, and I would always go pick apples and stuff for money. I mean, and that's a dang hard job. You tie a gunny sack around you and climb up a tree and pick apples. Yeah, but over there, thank God, you could pick up anybody's fruit. It was so abundant. You could, and I would can at least 400 jars every summer, so I'd make it through the winter. And we had a freezer, and we'd get meat from neighbors or whatever. Somebody butchered, and you could buy part of their meat. And I baked bread, whatever.
And you had a garden? You took care of all that garden?
I had a huge garden, yeah. Yeah, and then I worked at the Toggery at the same time.
The what?
Toggery.
What is that?
A department store?
A department
Yeah.
store.
Yeah. You were very involved at the Catholic Church at that time in Cortez. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I wasn't real involved in it, but I definitely went to church every Sunday and in a little town of Dolores, not how many miles away
About
would
10.
that be? Maybe 10, yeah. They knew they had church on Sunday, and for some reason, and one day I couldn't make it and get you kids ready for church. And so I called to Dolores to see what time church was there, thinking I could just drive the 10 miles and get you all to church. And that priest told me, he said, if you'd paid attention on Sunday, you'd know. It made me so mad, I got in my car, I was going to go fight with the priest. But that worked out all right. But then Laverne, she just dragged on me, like she'd make me go to Harmony Club with her. And that wasn't Harmony, let me tell you. She sat and ragged on me. And you kids couldn't have done anything right. It was horrible. But anyhow, they told us they had a house in town. They'd sold it probably 4 times before. And then foreclosed on people. But we could buy that from them. They were going to really be nice. So, because we couldn't make the rent, we really couldn't. But anyhow, I couldn't do enough to that house, and I did. I did the cupboards, I redid everything I could possibly have done. But she didn't like nothing. And she come down and really jumped on me, not Homer, because we weren't paying enough rent, and we basically got thrown out of her house. Yeah, and I went I was pregnant again, and I knew I was, but I'm still out picking apples, and I should not have been. And finally I said, that's it, I'm moving back. Well, and Mom was really sick too. I knew my mom was gonna die. But I got to the doctor that one of those days, and I said, well, we're getting ready to move, and he said, you just go home. He said, keep packing and getting ready, whatever you think you need to do. And he knew good and well I was in labor. And he knew it. But he knew if I stayed up that I would have a miscarriage. And I did. And I hemorrhaged so bad. Oh, the whole bathroom was full of blood just from me going in there. And Homer packed me in a coat and a blanket and got me to the hospital. And they took one look at me, and I almost died. Yeah. And they said, you don't have any choice, sign here for a hysterectomy and abortion. Yeah. And I really wanted that baby. I finally got motherhood down. I must have been 20-some, barely 20, but yeah, I really wanted another baby. but I lost it. Yeah. It's hard. But I did come home and keep on packing and drove to Denver in a snowstorm. It was horrible. And knowing if I started bleeding again, they couldn't stop me. Yeah. And at that time, I wasn't taking any medicine like now. Like now, I could bleed to death really quick, just what I almost did with the cantaloupe. It's weird. Okay.
Was there anything else you want to share about your life with Homer and raising 4 beautiful, amazing girls?
Oh, okay. That part with my 4 little girls over there seemed like there was something all the time with one of you getting, even if it was just a dog bite, like Luann had a dog bite her in the mouth, but she wouldn't tell me which dog it was. It wasn't our dog. That was a mess. It never was just normal. Like Luann or Susie came to the door and passed out. I had no idea what was wrong with you. They took you to the hospital and they thought you were in a diabetic coma. And thank God, a doctor, they sent you to Denver. I drove you to Denver. And they weren't sure at all what was wrong. They knew something bad had happened to you. That you had 2 little marks on your back that they thought was a snake bite or something like that. And after I got you home and you were feeling better, our neighbor came over. He said, I know what's wrong with your little girl. She got electrocuted.
There was a hot wire. Yeah.
Right where you were playing, they had disconnected a bunch of trailers. And right where you were, it hit you right in the middle of the back. You still have a scar. Yep.
Never a dull moment. Huh?
Yeah, and it wasn't fun. I mean, it was hard. It's all I remember about being a mother for 4 little girls. Yeah, but it's the most important thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah, I mean, it truly is. Even with Luann and the problems we've had, I could not stand to lose her. I couldn't stand to lose anybody.